All right, so to get started, I'm going to start on the mandible, and we're going to get started on tooth number 22. I am going to position myself at the 1 o'clock position and make sure that my patient is 2 inches below my belly button. After I've positioned myself, I adjust my patient, and their chin is going to be down since we're starting on the mandible, and just slightly away from me, not too much. And after I've adjusted my patient, I want to make sure that I have my light in the correct place. And for the mandible, we're going to have the light at arm's length, and we're going to put it above the head, shining onto the mandible and making sure that it's positioned so that my hand isn't going to block any of the light onto that tooth. So we are going to start off with our Nevi 1 sickle scaler. And I'm just going to palm my mirror for this. And I'm gonna retract the lip. And with the Nevi 1, we're gonna stay super gingival. We're not gonna go under that gum, that tissue at all, because it does have a pointed tip. And we're going to establish our fulcrum. We don't have to choose a side because I am gonna use the sickle end and not the disc end on this one. I want to make sure that I stay in my neutral position. And when we do this number 22, we're going to start at the midline, and I'm going to start doing away surfaces. And I want to make sure as I'm doing this, I'm doing short biting strokes. And as I said, I'm staying super gingival. Taking little breaks in between just to make sure that our wrist does not get tired. We want to make sure that that toe third is adapted. I think that I've taken a good chunk of my tooth off practicing. We're just doing those short biting strokes into the interproximal. And that was tooth number 23. I'm going to turn his head slightly this way. And start with 24. Midline. This one seems to be difficult to do. I think I've ground it down pretty well. So you may not be able to hear that one as well, but I am keeping that tip third adapted. Tooth number 25. Midline. And then on tooth number 26, we do see a little bit of the root exposed. We definitely don't want to, we definitely don't want to hit that. That would be, we would use one of our curettes on that because that's technically subgingival. Midline. Okay, and for surfaces towards, we're going to move around to the 8 o'clock position, and I am going to keep my chin down, and I'm going to face him towards me a little. A little more. And starting, actually, I'm going to start with tooth number 26 so that I can go that way. starting at the midline. Keeping that tip third adapted and going all the way into the inner proximal, midline, tooth number 24, start at the midline. This is the one, it's a little difficult. To the inner proximal. Number 23, short biting strokes. And then we'll do number 22. At the midline. Making sure that toe third, tip third actually is adapted. Short biting strokes. Okay, and now we're gonna move on to our 1-2 Barnhart. And for this, I would make sure my patient's chin is up. And I'm going to put his face slightly away from me. I would reposition my light so that it is over the chest, arm's length, onto the maxillary. And we are going to start with tooth number 3. And this is our Barnhart 1-2. You can come back over here. Yeah. So I'm going to retract the cheek. Let me actually get him turned over just a little more. Retract that cheek. I'm going to check my working ends. And this would be the correct end. So we're going to get started with this one. We're going to put our Barnhart interproximal so that we can insert it under the gum because we are going subgingival with this instrument. So we're going to slide that gently under. We're going to bring it back out, and we want to keep it at that 70-degree angle, doing short biting strokes, making sure that it does stay under that gum. Bring it back, and pull it out gently. Rest for a minute just so we don't get tired. We don't want our wrist tired. And to slip it back under, to insert it, we are going to close it onto the tooth, slide it under at that distal line angle. Short biting strokes underneath the gum. Close it and bring it out. Now for tooth number 4, we'll do the same. We're going to come up, bring it out. We're going to rock our wrist, bring it, into, towards the distal. Close it and bring it out. We want to close it onto that tooth. Slide it gently under. Bring it out to that 70 degrees. Sorry, let me get that reinserted. Do those short biting strokes across into the mesial. staying subgingival all the way into the contact. Close and bring it out. For tooth number 5, do the same. Bring it out. Keep it subgingival. Close it. Insert again at that distal line angle. Bring it out to the correct angle. To the mesial. And then for tooth number 6, I'm going to sit at 9 o'clock to do surfaces towards me. And I'm going to check my end. So we want to do this end, and we're going to insert at the midline. We're going to bring it up at that angle. Close. And then I'm going to move to the 8 o'clock position. Actually, I'm going to sit more at the, did I say 8 o'clock? I meant 12 o'clock position. And I'm going to actually, I think, sit a little more at the 11 o'clock position. And for tooth number 6, check our working end. So we're going to stick with this one. Insert at the midline, closed, bring up to that angle. Keep it subgingival, short biting strokes. All the way into contact, close, and pull out.